This is Outside the Round with Matt Burrill, a Raise Rowdy podcast.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Outside the Round with me, Matt Burrill. Today, a very special guest, a longtime homie. Very happy to have him in the studio. He's been busy out on the road with our buddies from Old 60 on the Out of My Way tour. Please welcome our boy, Mr. Rob Langdon.
What's going on?
Robbo, how you doing?
Great. No complaints.
First week of tour, how'd it go?
It was badass. I mean, going from last year playing with them too, I mean, those shows were sick too, but these ones, there's a different energy this year.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, the rooms are bigger, but this is a different vibe.
What blew me away was because we got to go to the Webster Hall show in New York,
Yeah.
which was full circle for me. I hadn't been in that room in a long, long time. Like I had my family. We had a crew of like 30, 40 people with us. I got a bunch of my homies that came out, a lot of family, and the crowd singing back every word to every 60 song.
Oh, it's awesome.
It's nuts.
Dude, I've seen that show like 400 times, and I watch every second of every song every time.
Yeah, dude. And the crowd was responding well to you, man. Kudos to you, the boys, man. You got a great band with you, man. You got Evan back there banging on the drums, who's just an all-pro.
The heart and soul right there.
Dude, you got a great crew with you, and the mixture of like your originals, your unreleased was hitting well, and then your skills of figuring out what covers the crowd's gonna like. Throwing in Fall Out Boy, throwing in some all-time low, dude.
Dude, the Fall Out Boy one is funny because when I first opened for them in Nashville last year, they were like, yeah, just do like a 30-minute set. And I'm like, all right, so, we get like 7-8 songs. And I've never really played live before. That was like one of my first times outside of like a Raise Rowdy or Whiskey Jam or something. So we played in Asheville, and we got off stage and we're like, how was that? And they're like, well, you're supposed to play for 45 minutes, and that was 25 minutes.
Ooh.
I was like, whoa, not even fucking close.
Yeah.
So kept it the same that run, played in Milwaukee. We added one more cover, and then we were like, still short. We're like, damn. And I didn't have a lot of songs of my own yet. So I was like, whoa, fuck. So we were like, well, who's like a band from Chicago? Because that's where we were going to. And from Milwaukee to Chicago is like, what, like, I don't know, like 2 hours or something.
Not even.
So we were like, what do we play? Like, and we looked up and like, fucking Fall Out Boy's from Chicago. We're like, dude, let's play Sugar, We're Going Down. So we figured it out in the van on the way. And then we played it, and we're like, yeah, this isn't leaving. We're going to keep doing this one.
Yeah, dude, it gets the crowd engaged early in the set, man. And you talk about Asheville being the first show, like one of the first shows that you got to do, like playing out of town. And that's a place that holds a near and dear special place in your heart.
Yeah, definitely.
Talking about your story. So for those that don't know, you're originally from Florida, went to college at App State.
Yep.
And then made the move out here to Nashville. So just kind of tell, for those that don't know about you, growing up in Florida and then going to college in North Carolina, what was all that like for you?
Yeah, I mean, so my whole family's from Boone, North Carolina.
Okay.
My dad, I'm pretty sure is the only person in his family to probably ever leave.
Wow.
And the ones who are still left are still in Boone. And so that's why I grew up in Florida. But he went to App State. Everybody went to App State. So I grew up an App State fan. Even when they were D1 AA, I was watching the Michigan.
Oh, yeah.
And all their championships, their 3 back-to-backs. Shout out App State.
Yeah.
So I'm diehard black and yellow my whole life. And when I played baseball, so when I was getting recruited, it was kind of an easy choice. I was like, I'm going to go home. I'm going to go basically home, to a place I would go every summer for months, stay with my family, and I can get home cooked meals.
Yeah.
Still play ball.
That's the way to do it, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I went to App, and I was real focused on baseball because I wasn't that good, especially when I was going into college. I kind of sucked. I was just so small. And
where were you playing in the field?
Middle infield I played.
Okay.
But I was like so little. They were just like, fucking put him in the outfield.
Yeah.
Put him somewhere. Get a bunt down.
Yeah.
So I was just so focused on baseball. And I always had music kind of like I wouldn't say in my back pocket, but I knew a little bit. You know, I could fiddle on the guitar. yeah, like all my focus was just like be good at baseball, get bigger, get faster, stronger, just be better at baseball. And then I just never did. I never got better. So, but I got my 4 years in, and always continued music in the background, you know. So I always had like my guitar and played. I learned like every single Eric Church song, every Skinner song, every song that I loved. I even made a list. Because I got tired of people asking me what songs I knew. I wrote it all down on a piece of paper and I put it on the wall. So I'd be like, pick a number, and I'll play it. So it was kind of like just like a party trick.
Yeah.
And then when I graduated, I didn't really know what I wanted to do because I don't look too far ahead in things. So I was like, well, I really want to do music. I mean, because my whole life I was like, what are the coolest things that I could do? I was like, be a pro athlete or be like a rock star or like a Navy SEAL or something.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I started playing in the bars around town. And that quickly turned into me just kind of living there.
And this is back in Boone?
Yeah, this is in Boone. So I got a job at Woodlands Barbecue. I don't know if you've heard of Woodlands.
I haven't.
So Eric Church had his first show there because he's from the county over in Caldwell County. And Luke Combs used to play there, and Adam Church.
Oh, yeah.
That's where I met.
Shout out Adam Church, man. Love that guy.
That's where I met him. It's actually funny because the first time, so I had to work there so I could play there. I went in there. I was like, hey, can I play here? And they were like, no, like we have everything booked up. And I was like, well, I also need a job. So I started working there. And then I started just whispering in the manager's ear. I was like, hey, I play music. Like,
Let me up there. I'm already here.
They're like, you can play like Saturday mornings for free, like as long as you want. So I'd play for like 6 hours.
Wow.
I would just clock in. I would just play for like, forever. No breaks. But yeah, that's how I met Adam. One day he was playing there and I was like, and everybody in Boone knows Adam. And I was like, dude, like I'm starting this music thing. Like I don't really know what the hell is going on, what to do. And he was like, dude, come hang out by the truck or whatever. So we hung out for like an hour. And the next day he was like, dude, come to our band practice. So Adam honestly was a huge help for me when I was first starting.
Yeah, dude. And he's somebody that, like, when you talk about the Carolina country music scene, Adam Church is at the forefront of that and has been for about a decade now. Like, he's been doing it as long as anybody and came up with Luke and Rob and all those guys. You know?
He's inspiring. I mean, seeing him do his thing, like, all the time. I mean, really, his work ethic is crazy.
Yeah.
You know, he's got 2 kids now. Just had another baby. Shout out Adam. Shout out to Church family. Yeah, where was I on this one?
You were saying that. So what led you from Boone to Nashville? How did that happen?
And then so that I was doing music there. I was playing the bars, but I was just an acoustic, and it gets cold as hell there. So I was playing outside on like the patios and everything, and they were like, hey, you need a full band, like if you want to move inside and start doing the thing. And I was like, I don't even know how to find a band.
Yeah.
You know? So I tried. And then it quickly turned into me kind of living there. And I had all these baseball injuries. Like my shoulder was fucked. It was like dislocating every day. Yeah. I can curse on here.
Yeah, you can, dude. Okay. It's my podcast.
My bad. Yeah, I figured.
It's with me. Yeah, you say whatever you want.
I figured. But yeah, so I ended up moving home, got shoulder surgery. I had no money. So I started working for this cabinet company, and things were going really well. So I was like, well, maybe I'll just do this for the rest of my life. And then through COVID, I picked back up my guitar and started writing songs. And I was like, man, I really, really want to do this. So I hit up Wales.
Yeah.
And Wales was like, dude, come out and visit. I came out and visited on a weekend. And he was like, well, next time you got to come during the week so you can check out like a Outside the Round or Ray's Rowdy or something. I met you. You probably don't remember.
No, I do. I remember you working and helping Wales out on shoots.
Yeah, dude, I would come and he would be like, well, I have all these shoots. And he was like, do you want to help? And I'm like, I guess. I don't know anything about video work, but yeah, I can move some shit around.
Yeah, because that was my introduction to you. It's funny, after the show the other night, I know you guys had to get down to Raleigh. I ended up out at that bar, that Common Country bar in New York City. which is a small little hole in the wall. But our friends Stephanie and DJ Big Country, who was at the show with us the other night, Big Country was DJing from 11 to 4 a.m. there. 5 a.m. It was 11 to 5.
set.
He was DJing. It's crazy in there. But we ended up having JR, Josh Ross, and Jake and Bryce Leatherwood, and those guys came out.
Yeah.
And we ended up out with them till freaking 4 in the morning. And
That's how it goes with Josh.
Yeah, Josh was like, man, where's Rob at? Like, I haven't seen him forever. And he's like, you know how I met Rob? And I'm like, where? And he's like, had a shoot with Wales back in the day. And I'm like, oh shit, that's right.
Yeah, dude, I probably helped on every Josh Ross music video ever.
Yeah.
And I'm in it maybe for like a second.
Yeah, because I remember, did you play that initial takeover that we did? We did a takeover, that Whale Tail takeover.
Not the first one.
Because Josh played that, and that was the day of the Tall Boys shoot.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think I'd moved yet. That was like in my little buffer zone.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was in I helped with his Trouble video.
Yeah.
On a different night. I'm in that one for like a split second. You can't hang around a Whale Tail set because he'll throw you in.
He'll pop you in.
Yeah, you got to make sure you have like some outfits or something like stashed away because he'll be like, dude, pop in.
Yeah, I was in those Trey and Muscadine videos back in the day too.
You probably didn't know. Did you know you were going to be in it?
I did not know I was going to be in the Dick Down in Dallas video. And Wales was like, you're going to be what's his name? I'm like, what? And he's like, you're going to be the guy that Trey walks in on.
All right.
With his girlfriend. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, dude, I was in a Hayden Kaufman video.
Yeah.
Didn't know I was gonna do. That was my first day moving here.
Yeah.
I helped him out with a Hayden Kaufman video, and he was like, "Yeah, you're gonna be the ex-boyfriend or the new boyfriend or whatever, and the guy's gonna shoot you or something." And I'm like, "All right,
all right."
Yeah, I'm just added to the resume. I'm an actor now.
Yeah, and then fast forward to now where you're putting out music and you're doing that and you're working with Wales and you're working with Davis and like your boys that you were homies with when you initially moved here to now doing it as a team.
It's awesome. I mean, we were actually in one of the ones, Boston, Raleigh, New York, and it was me, Kevin, Poley, and Wales and Davis and Aiden now too.
Yeah.
And we were all, and Jacob, and we were just like, man, how fucking cool that we're all doing this together.
Yeah.
You know, I couldn't have asked for a better situation. It just happened naturally.
Yeah, dude. And I think something that separates you from other artists in town is that you have this rock thing. Like when people ask me, like all my friends, everybody was asking like, so who's this Rob Langdon guy opening up? I'm like, it's going to be loud. It's going to be awesome. You're going to hear like a slight country elements, but it's going to be a rock show. And him and the guys are going to give it their all for however long the set is. Sure. So for you, did you always have the plan of wanting to do more of the rock thing than the country thing?
I've always I like all kinds of music. I like literally every type. I mean, I was a big Warped Tour kid for a while. I went through a lot of phases.
Yeah,
you know?
I think we all do.
Yeah, for sure. Whatever girl I liked, I was just like, what do they listen to?
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm glad I did because it gave me so much music knowledge. But I always loved the Warped Tour thing. That was my own.
Yeah.
But I always loved that style. I mean, I always gravitated towards. I used to pretend to be the lead singer of Cage Elephant in my room.
Hell yeah.
Because he's fucking crazy and he would bounce around.
Yeah.
You know, and I was actually in an indie rock band. I was a singer. I didn't really know how to play guitar yet. My freshman year of high school, and I mean, I always knew that, but I always like separated them in my mind. The country, like, I mean, I grew up listening to country music.
Yeah.
With my dad being from North Carolina in the mountains, he loves country music. He says he doesn't, but he loves it.
Yeah.
And my mom is actually from New York.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was born in Queens, I think.
Oh, no shit. I didn't know that.
Yeah, but she didn't grow up there. She actually grew up in Turkey.
Okay.
Which is kind of crazy. It's like a
Whoa.
weird thing. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, her parents were immigrants from Turkey.
Wow.
So yeah, she was born in Queens. I think my grandma was pregnant with her when she was like on the boat.
Wow.
To New York. But
wild.
and she loves like Bon Jovi and Prince.
Yeah.
So I was always around that growing up. But then it wasn't until kind of like college where these things started intertwining, and I was like, oh shit, you can do it's all the same.
Yeah.
You know, and then now with my music, it's like, you know, genres, rock, country, whatever. It's like I don't really care. It's just I like to make music that I like.
Yeah.
And what makes me want to move. You know, like the shit that I'm doing on stage, it's like I'm not acting. It's like it just makes me move, you know, and that's all I really care about. And if I feel like if I'm having fun and I'm moving, like the people who fuck with it will start moving too.
Dude, absolutely, man. And it reminds me of the Texas rock thing, which again is so fitting that you're in that whale-tailed tree, looking at Davis and Wales's history as well of
perfect combo.
Working with Davis's time at Floating Leaf, Wales's time doing all the Pecos, Colby, Dylan, like that style, man. It's like this Texas rock country thing or country rock thing has crossed over into Nashville, and it has been here for a few years now. And you're one of the guys that's doing that thing at a very high level, man.
Thank you.
Like the production of like Treading Water, just I jam that song like every day, man. And then songs like Shine and Bedbug and Tattoo, like the songs you have out all fit that mold of right now where it's the rock and country are closer than they've ever been.
Yeah, definitely. Kind of country is like, man, it's all over, which is why it's my favorite genre.
Yeah.
It's like, I feel like other genres like pop music or rap or whatever, when they change, they kind of change for good.
Yeah.
And it's just now this new thing. Even rock music over the decades, there's, it's like the Beatles, but then you go into like Bon Jovi or whatever, and then it's like hair metal.
Yeah.
And then punk, pop punk. And then that other stuff kind of gets left behind. But with country, it's like it never fully changes. It just branches.
Yeah.
You still have your Zach Tops. You got your Charlie Crockett's, your Red Clay Strays. But then you got like your Zach Bryans and your Morgan Wallens and then your Co Wetzels. It's cool. That's why it's my favorite.
Yeah, there's a lot of flavors of it out there. Like more flavors than I think anybody would have ever thought.
I know, it's crazy.
And we all listen to all of it.
I know.
Like 1 minute I'm bumping Wallen, the next minute I'm bumping 60, the next minute I'm bumping Ella. Like there's so many different styles of it. It's like of all the times to be coming up as an artist and as a writer where you can really do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah. And people should be doing whatever the fuck they want all the time.
And, in the first place. And I think that's what's been so refreshing about Nashville the past few years because you've been here long enough now. You moved here when? Was it 2020, 2021?
No, 2023.
Oh, that was
over 2 years.
So you were coming back and forth that whole time?
I just came twice.
That was it?
Yeah, I came twice.
I feel like I saw, I guess those two times I saw you.
When I first, just knowing Wales, he put me in the right spots when I would come visit, because he wanted me to get like a good grasp of how everything worked. Because I mean, if you don't live here, you don't really know about the writers' rounds. I mean, it's like a kind of a foreign concept.
Yeah.
So he really wanted me to know how things worked and where the cool spots to be were, so he introduced me to you and Nikki, obviously.
Yeah, dude. And that crew that we had at Live Oak back in the day, man. And it's it's with us to this day. And guys like Carter and Aiden and Grant, I always talk about like people having like their class. And it's like when people like kind of like when you're a freshman in high school or freshman in college and you meet your boys that you're going to go through that 4 years with.
Right.
And it's like your class would be the Aidens, the Grants, the Carters. Like you have this crew. And Wales Davis came right around that time, full time out here. And it's like watching all you guys grow together. What's it been like having that brotherhood with Grant, Carter, and Aiden?
Oh, it's everything. It's everything. I mean, that's Wales. I mean, when I got here, Wales was already doing his thing. So he's flying out, shooting videos all the time. And when I first moved here, I lived with him for like 3 weeks. I was sleeping on his futon. Yeah.
Oh, in the apartment.
in Germantown. Yeah. And so he would leave and he'd be like, "Hey man, you got to go out. You got to like find your people." And I stumbled upon Grant actually because Wales saw him. He had a Clemson hat on. Yeah. And he was like, "Go Tigers" or whatever. And then he looked back and Wales was like, "Oh, that's the dude that used to play full band at all the bars at Clemson."
Yeah.
And Grant was like, "Yeah, I just moved here." And he's like, "Oh, meet my boy Rob." And then me and Grant hit it off, and then he worked at Live Oak, obviously. So then through him, I met Carter and Aiden, and I mean, we've been inseparable ever since.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and having the crew where it's like they're guys that you write with, but more importantly, they're guys that you hang with.
Yeah.
They're guys that you go out and grab a beer with.
Yeah, having like a support system like those guys, like just wherever, I mean, every writer's round, whoever plays, we're all there. being stupid, yelling.
Yeah. When did you feel like Nashville became home? Because it's been like 2 years now that you've been here. When was the moment where it feels like, all right, this is home now?
Probably when I stopped using my GPS. I don't know the exact day.
I still use it because I fucking hate traffic. Like
I avoid highways at all.
I have
costs.
everybody's like where people live in my phone. So now the government probably knows where everybody lives, which I'm sorry about that. But I'll put like the little pins in my Google Maps. So if you pull up my Google Maps, there's just little blue flags all over the city of Nashville.
Yeah, it actually is funny because my maps thought that Aiden and Carter's place was like my work, because I would go there every day, and then I would stay there like around like 5, 6, and then I would leave. So I'd get in my car and they'd be like, "Do you want to go to work?" I'm like, "Going to work."
Go to work with the boys. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. So you've been putting it's coming up on a year since your first release, and Shine came out.
Yeah.
And that song seems to have done quite a bit for you. But now watching the evolution from that to your latest releases and what you've got coming, man, which your unreleased stuff. Superman, Nikki and I just keep talking about that song.
Dude.
Like, it stands out to where it's like sonically a little bit different from what you've got out, but still feels like a Rob Langdon song. So talk about what it's been like getting music out and just that progression over the last year.
Well, getting music out was harder than I thought it was.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many things in this business that I didn't even know existed. Like, I didn't know a distributor was like a thing.
Yeah.
So I thought you just like go on Spotify and it's just like, I want to put it on. But it is a whole process. And then choosing the right song too. And that's where having your support system with Wales and Davis and, Carter and Aiden and Grant, that's where they help a lot too, is having friends that are honest with you. Because, you're writing songs all the time. And, you kind of become a little bit blind to, does this really stack up? Is this really a good song for me to put out? And then having friends that are honest with you about being like, this one's probably not it, or this one is really good, and you should definitely put this out, or this song fucking blows. You need people to tell you that, and I have that in those guys. So I mean, I had all those songs like when I first played Inside the Round at the time.
Yeah.
Those songs that I played then, I don't even remember what they were, but I'll never play those again.
Yeah, but they were building blocks to get you to where you're at.
They're necessary. Yeah, and it just turned out that Shine was the one that was resounding, that everyone was like, you have to put this out.
Yeah, and the message behind that song too, and you make sure to say that every night when you play it live, whether it's one of our in-town things or it's a whiskey jam or it's now on the road with the 60 Boys. Talk about that song.
Yeah, that song, me and Davis wrote that song together.
Which
actually,
to me is the coolest thing, too, because how many people are writing with their team like that?
Well, dude, Davis is badass. Yeah. I mean, he's a great writer. He's very, very musically gifted. So, me and Davis got together, and he had already had this idea, I think, in like 2017 or something. It wasn't called Shine or anything, but we just had a lot in common with it, like people talking shit, people not really believing in you. I was kind of dating back to like my baseball times and my sports times where people were discounting me and for being little, like at the time.
Yeah.
And then he had his own reasons. And that was one of those ones that really just flowed, it just came out super easy. And those are the best ones. And yeah, I always say it's because basically it is. It's about people talking shit, Yeah.
And one day you'll shine. And right now you're starting to see that, man. What's it been like seeing the numbers go up? Because you remember when you put out that first song, you have like a couple thousand monthly streams, people start knowing who you are in town. And now it's like you have like, you're coming up on like 50K of monthly listeners, which is great. You have people buying merch at the shows. Like you're seeing all that. What's it like watching it grow? It's
crazy. It really is crazy. I mean, putting out your first song, you have no idea what's going to happen. You're like, here you go. Yeah. This is my first one. No one knows who I am, but here, I like this. I hope people like it. Yeah. And then they liked it. And then, you just start seeing the numbers grow, and it doesn't even really seem real, especially when you're not really playing shows. And, I was lucky to have met the 60 Boys and everything, and they gave me an opportunity to open for them. And that's where you start really kind of seeing things. I remember when I was, we were at the Mountain House doing like a little retreat.
Yeah.
And me and Jacob were talking, and Smoking a Light, their EP came out, and Smoking a Light was going crazy, and Walls and everything was going crazy. And I was like, man, how does it feel? He was like, I have no fucking idea. He's like, I have no idea. We haven't played any shows. And that's really exactly what it feels like until you start playing the shows. And you know, at 60, obviously, mostly you're coming to see Old 60. But, you know, I'm looking out and you can see people start to sing words to your songs. And it's really surreal.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
you see people, like you said, people moving.
Yeah.
That's what your music does. Is it's that groove where it's people, even if they don't know the words, they're going to be banging their heads.
Yeah.
They're going to be having fun
Exactly.
while that's going. What's been like one of your favorite spots that you've gotten to go to with 60 so far?
Man, that's a tough question.
Because you're getting to play some historic spots like Webster
Yeah.
Hall. Everybody's played there. The Royale, the Ritz, like just this run that you guys just finished up alone is some massive spots.
Well, anytime I
but
play
even
in,
last year too.
yeah, anytime I play in North Carolina, it's always special. I mean, I didn't grow up there, but it really feels like a second home to me. And I have so many family and friends, and they all come out. So anytime I play in North Carolina, it's special. But the one place that really sticks out was the Hochatown Saloon in Oklahoma. That place was crazy.
Yeah.
Just the setup is like, so the Hochatown Saloon. So I have like a black belt in like Old West history.
Okay.
Like, you know, Tombstone's my favorite movie. So like, you know, all the Earp story and the Cowboys and Doc Holliday. I had no idea going to this place, but the Hochatown Saloon has been there for like over 100 years.
Wow.
And on the menu in the restaurant portion of it, it's like a newspaper, and it's explaining how Doc Holliday came through and stayed there for a couple weeks. And I was like, oh, this is fucking sick. So the whole front of it's like an old like Western saloon.
Oh wow.
And they built on the back, so it's like half outside,
Yeah.
kind of. And there's a big balcony around. So at the time, that was the biggest show that I had played. I think it was the biggest show that 60 ticketed that they had played at the time. And dude, they were just rowdy. I mean, you can always tell because Jacob made that playlist to play before.
Yeah.
And he said it's carefully curated to build. And, you know, it's always Say It Ain't So, Weezer comes on usually right before I play. And I can always tell how the crowd's going to be based on their reaction. And they were fucking going nuts. You know?
Yeah.
And so that's always like my test. And they were just rowdy. I mean, drinking, throwing shit. It was awesome.
Oklahoma's wild.
Yeah.
I love Oklahoma. That's one of my favorite markets that I've gotten to go to for shows back in the day. And because you would think it's just this, there's obviously all the Western history, and there's a lot of history just overall in Oklahoma, like going back like Trail of Tears, like the Tornado Alley. Like there's just, they've been through a lot out there just for a century, for like over a century, you know? So they fuck with all different styles of music, and like your rock stuff. Definitely. It's in the 60 thing, which is, again, you talk about genre blending. Like, what do you even call Old 60? You know, I know it's like not your granddaddy's
music,
country band,
you know?
but
Music.
But it's like, it's a whole different thing, and it's wild. And it's funny you mentioned the playlist before the show. We were standing out by like front of house because we wanted to be in the shit. Like we wanted to be on the lower floor at Webster Hall. And I heard the bartenders like commenting and being like, what is this band gonna be? Like they're going from like a rap song to a 90s grunge song to Limp Bizkit to this to that. Like what is this band gonna be? And I told them, and they're like, oh, so it's not like a true country band. I'm like, no, it's a little bit of everything. They're like, fuck yeah.
Well, I think that's why me and those boys get along so well, and me and my whole band. And then, I mean, guys in my band, they're driving out to Owensboro. They're hanging out with them. You know, I mean, we've grown really, really close. I mean, those are some of my best friends. And but Jacob himself, just alone, he loves all kinds of music too. And that's something we've kind of seen more in a lot of artists. But with them specifically, like how they've got their sound it's just all, the genre blending. That's a good term.
Yeah. Who's producing your stuff right now?
Right now, Evan, my drummer. So we're
Sick.
doing it together. I was going to Grady for the first 3 songs, Grady Saxman, and Grady's awesome.
Yeah.
I love Grady. He's amazing.
He makes magic out
Yeah,
in that
he really
house in
does.
Mount Juliet, man.
Yeah, he really does. I mean, he's incredible. But me and Evan got together, and it's just, when you're working with your band and your guys, like just doing the whole thing. I could go to Evan's for one day and just sit there all day and come with the band, and that's been fucking so fun. Yeah. So yeah, Evan's killing it.
And I first met Evan when I first moved here. He wasn't here yet. He was coming in from Jackson, like Memphis area, and he was doing a project with our buddy Hunter Jordan called Back Road Therapy.
Yeah.
Back in the day, and it's like I met him through that, and he would come over and write with my roommate at the time, Ethan Willis. Like, and I think Evan crashed on my couch a couple times. Like, so it's cool to see him doing that. And talk about the other dudes in the band, like just the core 4 that you guys have with yourself and your 3 guys.
Well, dude, I mean, Evan's awesome. Just to speak on Evan for a second, because I mean, he's one of my best friends too, and he's one of the most musically gifted people I've ever met. He just
hears music differently.
Yeah, I mean, on the drum kit, I mean, he's a beast just alone. But I mean, when we track, I mean, he plays the bass, he'll play guitar, I mean, he does everything, and he hears everything, and he's on time, like perfectly. He's just like one of those guys, you know. And then Ryan James Clark plays guitar, and he's from New Jersey, so that Webster Hall show is a big one for him.
Yeah.
He's awesome. He's kind of like a metalhead. So he shreds. And then Chick, Caleb Walker's his real name, but Chicken everybody calls him. He's like Mississippi country as can be. And so, I mean, it's just, we blend a lot. And then Pork was playing bass with us. That actually I just met. So that was his first run with us.
Pork is the man, dude. I met him through our buddy Duke Jones.
Yeah, so that's how I met him.
Yeah, dude. Pork he's a character. You got to have like characters up there with you. Like that's something that 60 does really well with Tatfish and Ryan and those guys. But it's like you have that too.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because like Ryan's Instagram name is like something Shark.
Yeah.
So he's like, we got Shark, we got Chick, we got Pork, and then Evan goes by Mud. Like that's his producer name. So we got Shark, Pork, Chick, and Mud.
Yeah, dude, and it's like a circus coming to town, man. It's fun. So what are we looking at as far as music coming out this year?
I've got a lot of songs in the backlog right now, so we're just kind of trying to figure out how we want to put them out. But one way or another, they're going to come out, whether it's an album or an EP or as singles. But yeah, I'm excited for everybody to hear them, and I want to get them out so I can play them and have people know them.
Yeah, which one are you most excited about that's sitting in the tank right now?
I got the song called Carly's Song. I played it in New York.
Okay.
And I don't really know what to say about it. It's just, it makes me move. You know, it's a bop.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And in the writing process right now, how often are you writing? Because now you got to balance writing and touring.
Yeah. I try to write, I mean, as much as I can. You know, I mean, you're constantly thinking of things.
Yeah.
But every day I try to sit down with the guitar and at least come up with a cool melody that I can put in my voice recordings for later. I write with Evan a lot too. So we'll go over there on, you know, like tracking days and we'll write together. But yeah, I mean, I try to every week try to get something down.
Yeah.
And then if I get something good, then usually I'm like bullish about it. If I get something good, I'm like, we got to fucking do this right now.
We got to get it while the iron's hot.
Yeah, we got to do this immediately.
Yeah.
And which I'm sure gets annoying for Evan and Davis and
but
everybody.
You have guys that are invested in you as well. And Evan being like, and it seems like he's in like that band leader role, which is great. He understands the touring thing from his time being out on the road with different folks to where he gets it with being in the van and making it from New York to Raleigh on time and doing this and doing that. But for him to be one of your best buds and be tracking and working on your stuff, like that's a perfect thing.
I really couldn't have. I mean, with Wales and Davis and Evan and everybody, I mean, I couldn't have drawn up a better circumstance.
Yeah, there's no questioning if your team wants the best for you.
Right, exactly.
Because they're your homies.
Exactly.
Of course they want to see their best bud win.
Exactly. And we're all still homies. I mean, we all still go grab beers and just hang out like regular.
Yeah, and it's cool that you're part of this group that's doing, like, speaking about the whale tail stuff, and they have so much more going on behind the scenes, but of like the whale tail artists of like 60 and what Jacob and those boys are doing, what you're doing, and then like the Fox and Veed guys.
Yeah, dude, those guys are awesome too.
Which again, being Carolina dudes,
Yeah.
like, and I remember the first time that we saw them, and like, this is awesome.
They'll punch you in the mouth.
Oh yeah, which is sick. And
they're badass. I love Fox and Veed.
Yeah, and I can't wait for that show. I think we're gonna be driving down to the Caverns in about a month. Have you been there before for a show?
No, I haven't.
It's one of my favorite spots. I've only been to one show there. I saw the Cadillac 3 there last year.
That was sick.
And it was unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean those 3 shows. So we're going to Knoxville, the Caverns, and then Huntsville, and it is all 3 of us. So it's me, Fox and Veed, and Old 60. And I mean those, I cannot fucking wait for that. I mean, anytime we all 3 of us get together, I mean we just have too much fun.
Yeah, dude. And what those 4, the sound, the amount of noise that comes out of those 4 kids is unbelievable.
Yeah, dude, they're awesome.
They rip. And it's like Ashton on the drums is a damn rock star too.
Oh,
like you have a show, watching Langdon and Ashton is just as much as watching Cheese and Christian.
Yeah, dude,
like,
they're fucking,
it's unbelievable.
sick.
And on that run you're talking about with Knoxville and Huntsville, I'm assuming that's like Von Braun or like Mars Music Hall, which is a great room.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I think it's that one, and then I know it's the Mill and the Mine in Knoxville.
Okay, cool.
Which is a cool room that I got to do with Muscadine back in the day.
Yeah,
and that's a big room.
Dude, you've probably seen every single room being with Muscadine back then.
All the rooms that you guys are playing, I've either heard of, been to a show there, or worked a show there, whether it was with Muscadine or Trey, because that level, like, we were doing like the theaters and the clubs with Muscadine. Now they're on a whole other level. They got that Laney tour coming up. They just got off that Post tour, which is crazy. And I love watching those boys do the thing. And then with Trey, with the Dick Down Dallas stuff, a lot of the like rowdier bars and clubs, like I got to do all that. So yeah, but if you say a town, I can probably guess the venue with the level that you guys are at right now.
Just thinking back of the places, like favorite places to play, the Blue Room.
Oh, Statesboro.
I love the Blue Room.
Dude, that to me, and I've said it on here a bunch, I get people from Statesboro saying all the time that we never thought a kid from New York, a guy from New York would be talking as highly about our little college town as much as you are. The Blue Room, those kids just do it different.
Oh, man. That place was...
That was a 60 show?
Yeah, that was a 60 show.
Well, that had to be unbelievable.
Oh, man, it was packed out. People standing on people. I mean, it was so fun. I actually called Riley Lowry. You know Riley?
Yeah,
right?
very well, yeah.
Yeah, so we used to be roommates. So after I moved out with Wales, I lived with Riley.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, so...
You've had a good string of homies in town, man.
So I called him because I know he's a Statesboro guy. And I called him. I was like, hey, man, I'm headed up to the Blue Room. Like, what should I know? He goes, man, he said, the floors are sticky.
Yes.
He said, but it'll be fun.
Yes.
And the floors were fucking sticky as hell.
You have that you have that little green room on the side. There's the entrance to the stage is you got to kind of like duck your head, and then you're right in it. And that crowd's right on top of you.
It was awesome.
It's beautiful, man.
Yeah,
that was awesome. That was the first show I did with Trey.
Really?
It was the weekend that Dick Down in Dallas came out.
Oh, I bet that was fucking
Trey
crazy.
had it booked as a cover gig because Trey used to go in there and play the 4-hour cover sets. That was one of him and the guys. That was one of the regular gigs, and the show got flexed from a 4-hour cover gig to a 90-minute like originals with the cover band.
I bet that was cool for him.
And that was December of 2020, so COVID's still a thing in that room. Line out the door, it was crazy.
Were you at the Wendell show?
Oh yeah,
yeah. Wales told me about that one.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I was at the Wendell show. That was a wild weekend.
That was one of my favorite stories.
And I've talked about that weekend too, because that was back when Ella was opening up for us. Ella pretty much lived in the van with us for like, she probably did like 30 or 40 shows with Trey back in the day. And that was one where Ella was opening. Somebody threw a beer bottle at her. She just dodged it out of the way, kept playing acoustic. Yeah. Oh yeah, she's incredible. We knew that back then.
Yeah, she's a rock star too.
Yeah,
she's killing it.
Kid passing out in the bathroom. Cops come in. You have a license to be a restaurant, not a venue. So Trey gets up, plays 10-minute version of Dick Down in Dallas. loading out. It's pouring rain. Some big girl launch. I'm trying to do this meet and greet with Trey. Outside's me, Trey Lewis, and Trey Bonner. And some big girl just launches me. Like, it was fucking crazy, man. That weekend was nuts. But yeah, I love Anderson too. Have you been out there for a show?
Oh, yeah. Well, not for a show yet, but I mean, I've stayed with Wales a couple times and stayed in Anderson. Yeah, Anderson's fun.
Wendell's is wild.
Yeah, so I went with Wales and we watched Bailey Zimmerman headlined, and Corey Kent opened.
Oh, sick.
So that was cool. That was like December 23.
Yeah.
It's not that long ago, which is crazy that Bailey Zimmerman's doing like
and they did Statesboro that weekend too. I think they did the outdoor show.
Is that like the go-to run?
Yeah, because that's all the same promoters and stuff where they'll map Georgia into the Carolinas and all that, man.
Dude, those rooms are my favorite. That's when I started doing music, like I was like, man, those little clubs, those like grimy, just dive clubs, like that was what I was most excited about. You know, like the arenas, everything, stadiums, obviously that's awesome, but those clubs, like, just as a patron being there, like there's just a different vibe. It smells like cigarettes. If a place smells like cigarettes, I'm there.
Dude, same.
I'm there and I'm staying. You know,
if there's cigs inside at a venue, then it's gonna be a night. And I used to love that back in my smoking days. Yeah, because I'd be at the merch table and I'd have an ashtray with me at the merch table. Got to. I'd have to go get an extra pack if I knew the room we were going in had smoke, dude. And I'd smoke on stage when I was doing set changeover for Trey. Like, it was fucking nuts, man. Yeah, dude. There's some great rooms out there, and that's what's cool about the 60 tours. You're getting to go all around the country, man. Because like Milwaukee, that was the Rave Eagle Club, right? Yeah,
that was cool.
You guys went on the tour, right?
Oh yeah, signed the wall.
What'd you think of that?
Man, that was crazy. That was so cool. I mean, inside that pool, the signatures in there. I mean, it was like Sum 41, Machine Gun Kelly, 1975, Incubus,
the famous Mac Miller,
obviously,
right before he passed.
Yeah, man, crazy.
Yeah, and the vibes in there, and the fact that they can do multiple shows at the same time. Because what level were you guys on in there?
So I think from what I heard, you have to do the process.
Little bar, yeah.
You have to do. So we played the small one, which I think is that's the actual rave, or is the whole place the rave, or is that the Eagles Club?
So the whole thing I think goes by like the rave, like it's all. But there's like the small bar room,
right? So that's the one we played.
The small bar room,
yeah, the small bar room. Because I think you have to go one by one. Yeah, that was. I mean, talk about a place where they're right up on top of you.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there was a guy who had to be like 7'8", standing right in front of me. I swear to God, he was looking eye level with me.
Yeah. Yeah, and then upstairs, because the night, do you remember if there was a show going on upstairs when you guys were there?
No, I don't think there was.
So with us, when I was there with Muscadine, there was a DJ up there, a thing called Galantis. It's like a European house DJ. So there's like, we're downstairs, and this is pre-COVID Muscadine, so like it's like Porch Swing Angel, like it's a little bit slower, you know, which I love that era of Muscadine too. But then upstairs, there's like a rave going on, and you hear the whole building shaking. And we're loading out, and there's like kids dangling out the window from upstairs. I was like, this is fucking wild.
It's awesome.
This is wild, man. And then Chicago, you got like your Joe's Live and your
that
Joe's
place was awesome too.
The pizza, the deep dish up
there.
Yeah,
we got some deep dish.
Did you drink any Malort when you were up there?
Fuck no.
No? You know better.
Fuck no.
I had guys that would like
I've had it before.
Yeah, like Trey Bonner, whenever we would go to Chicago, would request a bottle just for himself, and he would just drink it to drink it.
Psycho.
I'm like, you're a psychopath.
Psycho. There's so many other options.
Oh, yeah, there's tons of options, but it's like the Chicago thing is...
I didn't know that was a Chicago thing.
Yeah, it's like what they're known for is Malort. That's like their liqueur, you know? Like you guys got moonshine in the Carolinas and shit. They got Malort. That's like their big liquor export.
Well, I should probably try to get a new thing.
That's what I'm saying.
Stick with the pizza.
Stick with the pizza.
You do pizza good.
Yeah, stick with the pizza and the Portillos and all that shit, man. But where are you guys going coming up? Do you have more? You have more shows with 60? Right?
Yeah, we're going to Florida, which is going to be cool.
That's going to be really.
Yeah, we're going to Florida.
How close to where you're from?
We're playing Fort Myers, so Fort Myers is about 3 hours away.
And that's the ranch.
Yeah, the ranch.
That place is nuts too.
I've heard.
I had good times there as well.
Yeah, and then we're going to Gainesville, Florida.
After that, the High Dive.
Yes.
Yep.
Damn, you're fucking.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I did it for 4 years.
You know them better than I do, huh?
That was my job to know the places. Those crowds are great, and you guys are going there before school lets out, right?
Yeah.
So you'll get the
right before spring break.
So you'll get the Florida kids.
Oh yeah.
That'll be awesome.
Definitely. Yeah, and my sister went to Florida. So I spent a lot of time in Gainesville.
Oh, so that's gonna be a cool full circle moment. What has been like the biggest full circle moment for you so far? Because again, you're just getting started with this shit. You're very much at not even the tip of the iceberg for where you're gonna be going. You know, like, I think this year is gonna be a huge year for you with the touring opportunities, the new music coming out, really honing in on what your sound is. But already there's got to be some pinch me full circle moments that have happened.
Yeah, I mean, even just Shine coming out and like people listening to it, you're like, well, I didn't think that was gonna happen.
Yeah,
you know, and but really when I played that first Asheville show, I had a bunch of friends, all my North Carolina friends came, and I went out after the 60 finished, I went out to go say hi, and then people were asking for pictures and asking me to sign things, and I was like, really, like. And that was something to get used to. I mean, I was like, I don't have a pen or anything. You know, I didn't think people were going to ask me.
Yeah.
That was cool. And then honestly, in New York, when I played Shine, that was the first time people put their lights out.
Yeah. I noticed that in the crowd.
So that was cool.
We had our lights up in the back.
Yeah, that was the first time anybody had done that.
Yeah.
So that was cool too. But I mean, yeah, there's so many moments that, I mean, everything is new. And that was something cool, like being with Old 60, because that was their first headlining show. They had no idea what was going on. I had no idea what was going on. So it's cool to kind of do it together.
Yeah.
You know, and seeing where I saw them at the Rowdy thing, which you hadn't seen them since New York, which is crazy.
Yeah, dude.
So that was probably fucking nuts.
Yeah, Nick and I, that was our first time. And it's funny because this year we do all those festivals. We're getting them at, I think, every major festival, multi-day festival that we're going to, that we actually MC those. So it's like we're on the main stage I'm on the main stage introducing the artist. Old 60's playing the main stage at all of the festivals that we're going to this year, which is sick and cool. But yeah, watching from that night at Winners, where we threw them on and we had no idea what was going to happen. They got to the end of Smoking a Light and like, we don't know how to finish this.
Yeah, like we didn't practice how to finish. But
and to see, and then for them to throw from when I had Jacob and Aiden on the podcast, my quote of, what are a bunch of blue collar kids from Kentucky? I was like, that's so fucking cool, man. Like, but yeah, it was awesome to see that, man. It was wild. But yeah, for you to be a part of that, and then for you to be growing with them is just the coolest thing.
Yeah, I feel really, really grateful to have met them. I met Jacob that night at Red Door. I was fucked up probably, but I remember meeting Jacob. I was like, yo, I know Davis.
Yeah.
And he was like, me too. So we met that night, and then we went to that Mountain House trip that I was telling you about. And then that's where we really like got to know each other better. But in Asheville, you know, they were still plugged in with wires, no wireless, wedges, you know, and then it felt like every time I would go out with them, they would have something new. And then this year, like I was mentioning earlier, just there's a different kind of like sense in the air about the shows.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the other shows were great too last year. That tour was awesome. But now that I know what's going on and they know what's going on, and you know, Aiden's with them now too.
Yeah, dude, he kicked ass on Friday at Webster Hall.
Dude, like, he's all business.
He was on top of his stuff. And it's funny because like I relate a lot to where Aiden's at, you know, like I remember going out for my first run of shows and learning how to do that and like wanting to be in music, but not playing, not writing, not singing, and finding a way to get in there. That's exactly what Aiden's done. He's doing it so well.
And what's crazy about Aiden is he moved here just because Carter wanted to move here to do music.
So Carter had a buddy.
Yeah, and so they're cousins.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and Aiden was finishing up his master's program, and he's like, yeah, fuck it, I'll move to Nashville with you. I'll work at a bar, and we'll figure it out while you're doing music. And I remember Aiden was finishing up, and we had become really close friends at this point. He's finishing up his degree, and nobody wanted him to leave because we all just assumed he would go back to Buffalo maybe and get a job and just start living.
Yeah.
You know? And he was like, no, I want to stay. And he got an insurance job, selling insurance. And then he never worked a day. Like out of nowhere, he was just like, well, actually, I'm going to be Rodney Atkins tour manager now.
Yeah.
We're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then, so now it's now come to this. And me and Aiden kind of, we'll sit all the time, and he'll just be like, I can't believe I was about to sell insurance.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, dude. Every little moment leads you in a way where it's like you don't realize it, but you come to like a little bit of like a fork where it's like if he decided to go back to Buffalo, or he decided not to take that Rodney gig, or you and you never met him at Live Oak, you never became boys with Grant, you know, or Carter didn't decide to pursue the music thing. Like there's so many little things. Wales decides to just stay in the Carolinas and be the biggest wedding photographer, video guy in the Carolinas, which he still is by being here. But it's like,
it's actually, you can go back. I mean, you could go back since the day you were born. But one of my best friends from college, Matt Vernon, that I played baseball with, he's the reason I met Wales, because he graduated, he was a year older than me. He graduated and he started working sales with Wales, and in Greenville, South Carolina.
I didn't know Wales had a sales job.
Yeah. Corporate Wales, yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. And
then at that point, the video stuff was probably just like a hobby where he was trying to.
I don't even know if I think he had it as like a passion,
because he was like doing stuff around Clemson athletics and things.
Yeah,
like
yeah, because he played baseball and everything, and Vern and Wales knew each other from baseball. And then, so that's how I met Wales, through Vern's. But Vern transferred from NC State to App State. So you could go back even further and be like, well, if Vern didn't transfer from NC State to App State, like I would have never met Wales. I don't know if I would have met you and Grant and everything. I love connecting the dots like that.
Dude, it's so cool. And there's so many dots in this town. What's advice that you would give to that kid that's working, has music kind of in the back of their mind? It's on the back burner and trying to figure out, and they're playing the shows for free at their local establishments like you were doing the barbecue thing. Like, what advice would you give to that guy or girl that's thinking about coming here and diving in?
I would say the biggest thing that was a big hurdle for me for a long time was the confidence. You can't do anything in anything really, but music specifically. You can't get up there if you're not confident in your abilities. You know, I remember first starting and kind of belting. I was like, I'm not going to belt because what if I fuck up, you know? And then once you get over that, you know, that's when things started to change. So having the confidence to just do it.
Yeah.
You know, get up here and do it. Don't be afraid to introduce yourself to people, or, you know, like people get off stage and you go to the rounds and stuff and introduce you. They might not remember who you are, but who fucking cares?
Yeah.
You know, just be confident in your ability. And if you can do that, I think you can do anything. Really.
Yeah, dude. Absolutely, man. I couldn't agree more. Yeah. And then what's the big goal for you in 2025?
I would love to start headlining some shows, you know, get this music out and just keep pushing. You know, I mean, I love playing shows. That's my favorite part. I want to play as many shows as I possibly can. And so that's a big goal for me.
Hell yeah,
as a headlining.
Well, I can see that, and I can see that in those starting out in those smoky rooms, and starting out where you're in places that have that character, and you feel that grunginess that you have in your shit, which is awesome, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Dude, I appreciate you coming on hanging.
Dude,
one last thing, where are some of your favorite spots to hang out in town? Where does Rob go? Where do you go with the missus? Where do you go with the boys? Where do you like hanging?
Well, I love Red Door.
Yes.
Can't beat Red Door.
It is the local watering hole.
Yeah.
It's where a lot
Speaking
of
smoking inside, I wish you could still smoke inside.
I know, dude. That was one thing COVID really took from us. Like, was the smoking section change? Like,
man.
That was why I loved
the
Red
Broadway
Door.
Brew House or Brew Pub now.
Yeah.
You know, right across.
Yeah.
That was my favorite spot because no one would go there. They had the cigarette dispenser, darts.
Yeah.
They had that trout dip. I don't know if you ever had that.
No.
Well, it's gone. Can't have it anymore. But I loved that place. So, I mean, I still go there time to time.
Do you go to East at all?
Yeah, well, when Wales lived there, we'd go a lot. Urban Cowboy's sick.
Yeah.
Rosemary Beauty Queen. I like all those places. But I feel like I'm a Midtown guy at heart.
Yeah, same.
You know?
Same. That's where I feel the most at home is on. Used to be Demumbrey, and now I'm very much with us doing our events over at Riley's and doing the losers stuff. Like I'm on Division 10 nights at least just for work, 10 nights a month. You know,
Crazy.
like it's crazy. But
Well, I always say Matt Burrill, Nicky T, hardest working guys in Nashville.
we're trying. I don't know about that, but I appreciate.
No, you are. I always say
I
that.
appreciate the kind words.
I mean,
man.
we're going Sundays, we're going Tuesdays,
Yeah.
we're going Wednesdays.
Yeah, dude, it's wild, man. We wouldn't be where we're at without guys like you who come and play the events and are part of our community and are doing the damn thing. Like, it's hard to find. Like, you're one of. I'm not just saying that because you're right here and you're my boy, but honestly, one of our favorite full bands that we
thanks,
get
dude.
to have in there. Like, you and the boys just come in and it just it hits another level.
Yeah.
Like, you guys try to break the room, and I
Yeah.
love every fucking second.
Yeah, we
of
like it loud, that's for sure.
Yeah, you do, man. And we
Sound guys get a little upset sometimes.
Teddy loves it. Teddy at our sound guy at Duck Blind, he's so stoned that he just loves it. He's just float, man. He's a rock guy at heart, so he loves the shit, man.
We call it floud, full and loud. As long as it's full and loud,
Floud.
we're good.
Floud is the key.
Floud.
Floud is the key. Well, Robbo, I appreciate you coming on.
Thanks for
Everybody
having
can
me,
find you. It's Rob Langdon Music and everything.
Rob Langdon
And
Music.
then be on the lookout for some songs coming at some point this
right.
year. And the tour still going, right?
going,
When does that go through? Do you know?
I'm going through to the end of April. Old 60's got a bunch of more shows in between too, with Fox and Veed and Sons of Habit too.
Yeah, which I love those Sons of Habit kids, dude.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Mitchell and those guys are awesome.
Yeah, they're awesome too. I haven't met them yet, but
They're good.
I like
they're
their
good.
music.
They're good kids. Yeah, we're going to be having them full band soon, so you have to come out and
Sick.
check them
Yeah,
out.
I
man.
will. Yeah. So yeah, we got end of this month, February 27th, 28th, Fort Myers, Gainesville. Next week we're going to Knoxville, Caverns, Huntsville. We're going to Columbia, Charlotte, Virginia. So it's gonna be fun. Yeah,
dude, those are going to be, again, some of my favorite markets. Like the Senate and all those places are like some of my favorite clubs.
I need to do some research, dude. You're
I
making
just
me feel
know.
better
I
on
just
not knowing
know.
the venues.
No, I just know them just from years of doing that. My job was to know what venues we were and what time we needed to be there, and make sure that Trey got paid at the end of the night. That was my job.
You
Make
did
sure
it. You
make
did
sure nobody went to jail, which
Right.
luckily never happened, but it came close. You know, it was wild. But y'all be sure to check out our boy Rob Langdon. He's got some great songs out and some great songs coming out later this year. And if you're in any of those markets, get out there and get to an Old 60 show, see our boy Rob. And if you're in the Nashville area, I know we got a lot of Nashville friends that watch this podcast every week. There are still tickets available right now. They're low ticket alert on that Cavern show. But you guys will not, the way you guys are going to rock in that fucking cave, it's going to be absurd.
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
The acoustics in that cave.
I hope it's loud.
Dude, it's gonna be loud, dude. It's almost sold out, so it's gonna be very loud. But we'll be at that show with Old 60, Fox and Veed, and Robbo here, Rob Langdon, at the Cavern. So come and party with us, drink a beer with Nicky T. You guys can do the arm thing. Shout out to our friends from Surfside, vodka iced tea, vodka lemonade. I'm glad you like the Surfsides too.
This is good. I never had this.
Yeah, we always
sweet
have.
tea
Yeah, we
one.
always have the lemonades at the events. But I'll send you home. We got a 4-pack of the iced tea waiting on you over there. We got some hats we'll give for you and the boys. And yeah, for more on us, visit raiseride.com. Be sure to check out our boy Rob Langdon. For my man Rob, I'm Matt Burrill. This has been Outside the Round.